The liars and swearers are fools.
Okay, so the turn of the 20th century saw some major shifts take place in America in regards to race relations. In addition to Jim Crow laws pervading new and southern states, an industrial boom brought on by technological advances in World War I encouraged thousands of poor, non-white workers to move to northern cities during what has been called the Great Migration. Many in the North, despite having fought for the emancipation of Black people only a few decades prior, grew angry and or fearful at what they saw as an invasion of their neighborhoods and a theft of their jobs by minorities. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Angelina, are you with us?
Sorry, Mr. Fallon. I've been trying to get off book for the fall production.
I sympathize with you. However, Macbeth can wait.
Sorry.
Okay. Besides, this period in American history, in addition to being reflective of modern events, is also reminiscent of Shakespeare's England when he was writing Macbeth.
How so?
Josie, eyes up, please. Okay, so there were pretty incredible culture wars going on between Catholics and Protestants at the time, including a plot by some Catholics to blow up Parliament. Have you heard of the rhyme, remember, remember the 5th of November?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Okay, so that refers to the gunpowder plot. One of the conspirators was named Guy Fawkes. And have any of you seen protesters or members of the hacker group Anonymous wear Guy Fawkes masks? So there are a few references to the gunpowder plot in Macbeth. There's also rebellions, civil war, social upheaval, and plague.
Plague?
Yeah, don't the witches say, hover through the fog and filthy air? The Black Death was an ever-present threat in Shakespeare's time, just as the Spanish flu pandemic wreaked havoc on millions in the early 20th century, and COVID-19 keeps us all in Zoom call instead of in classrooms today. Nature in upheaval is constantly referenced to in Macbeth, and there's also plenty of language that shows all of the characters in search of a national identity. This is the same as what we're talking about right now. Now, while racial tensions were nothing new in America at the beginning of the 20th century, we start to see Black American men, having received training in World War I, fighting back. The 1920s saw an explosion of racial violence against Black Americans, with the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan, the Red Summer, the Tulsa Race Massacre, and much more. Harlem became a mecca of culture for Black communities, and the Greenfield region of Tulsa, Oklahoma refused to let Jim Crow segregate.
The car is on fire, and there's no driver at the wheel. And the sewers are all muddied with 1,000 lonely suicides. And a dark wind blows. The government is corrupt. And we're on so many drugs with the radio on and the curtains drawn. We're trapped in the belly of this horrible machine. And the machine is bleeding to death. The sun has fallen down. And the billboards are all leering. And the flags are all dead at the top of their poles. It went like this. The buildings toppled in on themselves. Mothers clutching babies picked through the rubble and pulled out their hair. The skyline was beautiful on fire. All twisted metal stretching upwards. Everything washed in a thin orange haze. I said, kiss me, you're beautiful. These are truly the last days. You grabbed my hand, and we fell into it, like a daydream or a fever.
We are bound to suffer a very severe and distinct curtailment of our liberty.
It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Boys, stand back and stand by, but I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left,
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There, to meet with Macbeth. A drum!
A drum!
Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
Must you go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9.
Thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9.
Thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9.
Peace! The charm's wound up.
Fair and foul a day I have not seen.
There is foul.
Foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Oh, what are these? So withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it. Live you? Or are you at the man question? You seem to understand me, but each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips.
Speak if you can, what are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
So why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? Is name of truth, are ye fantastical? Or that indeed which outwardly ye show? I know a partner great with peasant grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time to say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none.
So all hail Macbeth and...
So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth. All hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sybil's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say, from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting? Speak, I charge you!
What you man is that? In report, as signifies plight of the revolt to the newest state.
The state of Ross.
God save the king! Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood. Such two-spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature swarm upon him from the Western Isles, assisted by the most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, sad sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Huzzah! Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Oh, the earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed?
Or such things here as we do speak about? Or are waiting on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
Self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebel's sight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. I am sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, and for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, him most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true? Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pain. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the fane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
But trusted home might yet enkindle you onto the crown, besides the thing of Cawdor is strange. Cousin, a word, I pray you.
Two truths unfold as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. The supernatural soliciting cannot be good, cannot be ill. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. Good, why do I yield to that suggestion? The horrid image doth unfix my air, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the east. Present fears are less than horrible imagined. Thought whose murder yet is but fantastical. Take so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise.
Look how our partner's wrapped!
Chance will crown me, wife. Chance will crown me, without me stir.
The wonders come upon him like our strange garments cleave not to their rules, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor, my dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced. At what time the interim having waited, let us speak. Free hearts each to other.
Oh, gladly.
Then enough.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are those in commission not yet returned?
My liege, they're not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance.
Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one who had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind construction of the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude is heavy on me. Thou art so far before the swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that proportion of thy thanks and payment might have been mine. But all I've left to say, more is thy due, than more all can pay.
Service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hadst less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee, and hold thee in my heart.
Ere if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seeks to hide itself in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and those who are the nearest know, we shall establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, and honor must not accompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife at your approach, so humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland, that is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
Your worthy Banquo, he is so valiant, and in his commendations I'm fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with hail king that shall be. This I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but with the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Why thee hither? That I may pour my spirits into thine ear, and chastise thee with the valor of my tongue, all that impedes thee from the golden round which fate and metaphysical aid hath crowned thee withal.
My dearest love.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
Dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh. Never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane! It is a book where men may read strange matters to beguile the time. Look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
I will speak further.
Only till then, look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave the rest to me. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop access and passage to remorse, so that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep distance between the fect and hit. Come to my women's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, where in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold.
See, our honored hostess, the love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which we shall thank as love.
All our services, and every point twice done, then double done, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherein your majesty loads our house.
This castle hath a pleasant seat, the air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet does approve. By his loved mason in heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No Johnny Freeze, buttress, nor coin of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle, where they must breed and haunt. I have observed the air is delicate.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We caressed him at the heels and had purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as the spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever.
Conduct to mine, host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done and 'twere well, it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his Circe's success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all. But in these cases, we still have judgment here that we but teach, bloody instructions which return to plague the inventor. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
We have almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Have you asked for me?
I not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk? Wherein you dressed yourself? Slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely. From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you don't do it, then you were a man. And to be so much more than what you were, you would be so much more the man.
If we should fail?
We fail. We'll screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. While Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's long journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I, with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume. And one in swinish sleep, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other? For we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death.
I am settled and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
Oh, take my sword. Oh, heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Oh, merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Oh, give me my sword! Who's there?
Friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest! The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All is well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
And your kindest pleasure?
You shall cleave to my consent. When 'tis, you shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
But repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Forbid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not. And yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which I now draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, such an instrument I was to use. Ah, mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest.
Thrice.
Oh, I see thee still.
Thrice to mine.
And on thy blade and dozen gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. Ah, it is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. O sore and firm set earth, hear not my steps which they may walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it, whiles I threat he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark. 'Twas the owl that screeched, the fatal bellman that gives the starts good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores.
What ho!
Oh, alack! I fear they have awakened, and the deed is not done. 'Tis the attempt and not the act that confounds us. Hark. No. I laid the daggers ready. He could not have missed them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I'd have done it myself. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
Well, I heard the owl screech and the crickets cry. Did not you speak? Now.
Have I descended?
I?
In chamber?
Donalbain.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
Foolish thoughts say a sorry sight.
Laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. Yet they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
Deeds must not be thought after in these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep." The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Stage cried, "Sleep no more to all the house. Gloms have murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more."
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hair. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go! Carry them and smear the sleeping grooms with blood.
I'll go no more.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures to the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If ye do bleed, I'll kill the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
What is knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They black out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? Oh, no. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color. But I shame to wear a heart so white. They are knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chambers. A little water clears us of the steed. How easy is it then? Look, more knocking.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have all turning the key. Knock, 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 who's there? The name of Beelzebub. Anon, anon.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be unequivocator of lechery. It makes him, and it mars him. It sets him on, and it takes him off. It persuades him, and disheartens him, makes him stand to, and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, the very throat's on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he took up my legs some time, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is thy king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
Did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Was the king hence today?
He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and lamentings heard in the air. Strange screams of death, of dire combustion and confused events. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
Was a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive, nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder broke up the Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence the life of the building.
What is, you say, the life?
You mean his majesty?
Approach the chamber. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason. Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up! Up and see the great doom's image. Malcolm! Banquo!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak. Speak.
Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas. What in our house?
Cruel anywhere. Do not, I prithee, contradict myself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know. Bring the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom?
Those of this chamber, as it seemed to done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain? That had a heart to love, and in one's heart courage to make love known?
Help me. Hence. Oh.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for hours?
Should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an agar hole, may rush and seize us.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet, and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the unleveled pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
Oh. Let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet at the hall together.
Well contended.
Well contended.
Contented.
To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles.
This murderous shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted. Our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let's not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again, 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 and thrice to mine.
I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sworn night hath trifled former knowings.
Oh. Thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travailing lamp. Is the night's predominance? The day's shame, the darkness does the face of the earth entomb.
Is unnatural, even like the deed that's done.
Here comes the Macbeth. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why see you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, have stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis was like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. All to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. At least our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, Banquo.
Oh, God's benison go with you and with those that make good or bad, and friends or foes. Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Gloms, all, as the weird woman promised. And I fear thou platest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them as upon thee, Macbeth, our speeches shine, why, the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. Oh, plus, no more.
Here is our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a great gap in our feast. All thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Your Highness command upon me, to which my duties are the most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
Now we would have else desired your good advice in this day's council, but for tomorrow. Where you ride?
As far my lords will fill the time twixt this and supper.
Well, not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We here, our bloody cousins, are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel patricide, filling their hearers with strange adventures. But of that tomorrow, adieu till you return at night. I'll lance with you.
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Well. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. We will keep ourselves till 6 o'clock. Well then, God be with you. Sirrah, attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, for in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared, 'tis much he dares. And to that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he, whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when they first put the name of king upon me, and bade them to him, then prophet-like they him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown. For Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? No, go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was.
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in the times past, which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self.
You made it known to us.
I did so. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put this business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. Thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. That I require a clearness with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight, abide within. Tis concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Not sad, all spent. Wherefore our desire is got without content. 'Tis better to be that which we destroy, and in destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Oh, now, my lord, why do you keep alone? The sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died, that they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Duncan is in his grave, after life's fitful fever. He sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Neither steel nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
None. Gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests this evening.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you, that your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowst that Banquo and his fiancée lives.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do.
And stand with us.
Hark, I hear horses.
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
Alight, alight.
Stand to it.
Rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Treachery! Ah! Fly! Ah! Fly! 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 Thou mayst revenge! Oh, slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Not the way.
There is but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
Hello? Oh, yeah,
Macbeth. The liars and swearers are fools.
Blood, make amends ere now. Security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Make amends ere now. Security is mortal's chiefest enemy.
Macbeth. Macbeth. Make amends. Macbeth. Banquo. The liars and swearers are fools. Thrice to nine, and thrice to nine, and thrice again to make up nine. Banquo. The liars and swearers are fools. you're worth it. Does it really mean anything? thine and thrice to mine. Thrice to thine and thrice to mine and thrice to thine and thrice to mine and thrice again 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 and thrice to mine. Thrice to thine and thrice to mine and thrice to thine and thrice to mine and thrice again 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 and thrice to mine.
This is a circus. The consequences will extend long past my nomination. The consequences will be with us for decades.
I think something is dreadfully wrong with this country.
What goes around comes around. We mean no ill will. First, let's start with my career.
You know your own degree, sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir. To all our friends, for my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even, here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
Huh? 'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut, that I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats, yet he is good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the non-pareil.
Most royal Sir Fleance escaped.
I had else been perfect. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in did she bide with 20 trenchant gashes on his head.
There the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone, tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrancer. Now good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
Please, your highness, sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed for the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise, Please, your highness, to grace this worthy royal company.
The table's full.
Oh, well, here is a place reserved, sir.
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentleman rise, his highness is not well.
Oh, sit! Worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. If it is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If you so much as question him, you shall enrage him and extend his passions. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. Why do you make such faces? When all's said and done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold, look, lo, how say you? Oh, what care I, if thou canst not speak too? If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monument shall be the moors of kites.
What?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time, and since 2 murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The times has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end, but now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. My most worthy friends, do not muse at me. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those who know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
For duties and the play.
Avaunt, and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! There is no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with!
This good peers but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other.
Why, what man dare? I dare! Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hirkin tiger, take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Hands! Horrible shadow! Unreal mockery! Hands! Oh, pray you, sit still!
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
Good sights, my lord.
Pray you speak not. Worse and worse question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. How sayst thou that Macbeth denies his person at our great bidding?
What did you send for him, sir?
I hear it by the way. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know why the worst means the worst, for mine own good. All causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, let us sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed. My former speeches have behit your thoughts.
Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth, Mary he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled.
Man must not walk too late.
Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and Donalbain to leave their gracious father?
Damn that fact.
How did it grieve Macbeth? Did he not straight in pious rage that the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was that not nobly done?
Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it.
So that I say, he has been born all things well, and I do think he had Duncan's sons under his key.
Hasn't, please heavens, he shall not.
They should find what 'twerve to kill a father, and so should Fleance.
But peace. For from broad words, and 'cause he failed, his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear, Macduff lives in disgrace.
Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The sons of Duncan live in the English court.
Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike seaward, that by the help of these we may again sleep to our nights, bring to our tables meat, free from our feasts and banquets of bloody knives, all which we pine for now.
And that well might, but advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide.
Some holy angel, fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Why, how now, Hecate, you look angrily.
Have I not reason? Beldames as you are, saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death, and I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art? And which is worse that you have done, hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone! And at the pit of Acheron, your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside, as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes of wisdom, grace, and fear, and you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy.
Round about the cauldron, go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone, days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom, sleeping got, boil thou first its charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Delay of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Hive newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. For charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the raven salt sea shark, root of hemlock, diggeth the dark, and add thereto a tiger's children, for the ingredients of our cauldron. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and every one shall join in the games.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Open locks, whoever knocks.
Oh, now, you secret, black, and midnight tags, what is to do?
A deed.
Without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand. Answer.
Say if thou hast rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters.
Call him, let me see him.
Come high or low.
Thyself and office.
Deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
Knowst thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Beth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Christmas ring. Enough?
Oh, whate'er thou art for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, 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 be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff, what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care. Who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are, Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great burning wood to high glens and hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root, sweet bodements good. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's if you ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show!
Show! Show!
Oh, his eyes!
And grieve his heart.
Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of banquet down! I crown does sear mine eyeballs, and the hair, thou other gold-bound brow is like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me these? A fourth starts eyes, another yet, a seventh, I'll see no more. A horrible sight. Now, I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and pointed them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly?
Where are they? Gone? Oh, infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
I did hear the galloping of horse who west came by.
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time, thou anticipates my dread exploits. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, and give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights.
But what had he done to make him fly the land?
Must have patience, madame.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansions, and his titles from a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not!
My dearest cousin, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of season. I dare not speak much further. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet fatherless.
I'm so much a fool. Should I stay longer? It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I shall take me of my wants.
Sirrah, your father is dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird.
My father is not dead for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. And how wilt thou do for a father?
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
Well, what is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest man.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. For there are liars and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest! Thou shag-eared villain!
You egg, young fry of treachery!
He is killed, mother! I pray you!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dolour.
What I believe, all wail. What no believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom, to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb, to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge.
But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did have my doubts. Let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
I would not be the villain that thou think'st, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich East to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think with all there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I should tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country should have more vices than it had before, more suffer, more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth should seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with mine confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell could come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, false, deceitful, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up this cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such a one to rule.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It has been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and the fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there comes in my most composed affection such a staunchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his house and this other's jewels, and my mere having should be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust with the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
All these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces, such as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, courage, patience, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in each division several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I should uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland! Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak.
Fit to govern? No, not to live! O nation miserable, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? These evils thou repeat'st upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Woe, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macbeth, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped my black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains has sought to win me into his power. And modest wisdom plucks me from overcredulous haste, but God above deal between thee and me. For even now unspeak mine own detractions. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet no less than in truth than in life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I truly am is thine, and my poor country's to command. Well, mourn on.
See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, oh men.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself, cannot be called our mother, but our grave.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not heard at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them. When I came hither to transfer the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor. Many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland could create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England has lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men.
An older and better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
But I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that will be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they?
No mind that's honest, though, and it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you, alone.
It be mine. Keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, for which it shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner they were on these quarry, these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak, whispers the o'erfraught heart, and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Let us make medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite! All.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macbeth! They were all strook for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine! Fell slaughter on their souls.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Let not the heart enrage it.
Oh, I could play the braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, bring thou this fiend of Scotland within my sword's length, set him. If he shall scape, heaven forgive him too.
Go we to the king, our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long which never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went to the field, I have seen her rise from bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what, at any time, have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you, nor to anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep.
How came she by that light?
Why, I sit by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her, to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will sit down what comes from her, to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out. Again, spot. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis now the time to do it. Fine, my lord. Why? What need we fear when none can call our power to account? And who would have thought the old man had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
What? Will these hands never be clean? Why that, my lord, no more. You mar all with a starting.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoken she should not, I am sure of that.
There's a smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh. Oh.
eye is there. The heart is fully charged. This disease is beyond sickness. I've known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died wholly.
Friends, put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of the grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed. Oh, you're knocking the south entry. Come. Come, give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed.
Foul whisperings are abroad, unnatural deeds.
You breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their death pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician.
God, forgive us all.
Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night.
Good night, good doctor.
My mind he is mated, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
The English power is near that on my Malcolm. His uncle Seward and the good Macbeth revenge his burn in them.
Near Burn Wood. Shall we well meet them? The way are they coming?
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane, he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad.
Others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury, but for certain he can no longer buckle his stempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murderers sticking on his hands, now minutely revolt, upbraid his faith breach?
Those he commands moves only in command, nothing in love.
Or march we on to give obedience where 'tis truly owed?
Meet we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge, each drop of us.
Or so much it needs to do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards Burnen.
Bring me no more reports, let them fly all. Till Burnen Wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? Then fly, false stains, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. Where gods thou that goose look?
Here is 10,000.
Beast villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Thou lily-lavered boy, what soldiers patch?
The English force so please you.
Seaton! Oh, I am sick at heart when I behold Seaton. I say, this push shall cheer me ever, or deceit me now. Seaton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All's confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I will fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Bring me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Bring me mine armor.
Oh.
I have lived long enough, my way of life, and that which should accompany old age. As honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth, honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny, yet dare not. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge her to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Huh? What rhubarb, chyme, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Here's two of them. Huh?
My good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnin Forest come to Dunsinane.
What is this before us?
What a burning.
Every soldier hew him down a bow. Bear it before him.
Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host. Make discovery ere and report of us.
It shall be done.
Learn no other, but then confident heart keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure setting down the fort.
'Tis his main hope.
None serve with him, but constrained things. His hearts are absent too.
Towards which? Advance the war! Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful beard to beard and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The times has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were end. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
Queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Oh, gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burden, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Oh, let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
Thou speakst false. Upon a tree shall thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish this state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow, wind, come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Now near enough.
Your levy screens throw down, and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, show with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death!
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. Who's he? That was not born a woman. Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou call'st thyself a hotter name than any's in hell.
The name's Macbeth.
The devil himself cannot pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant, and with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou wast born of woman. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword, whilst I see lives the gashes do better upon them?
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Labor.
As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward!
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet. And thou opposed, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last before my body. I throw my warlike shield, lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cried, "Hold, enough!"
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought. Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
He has hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Then, God's soldier be he, had I as many sons, as I have hairs, would not have wished them fair death. So is Nell's not. He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art! Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free! I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King